same time. Because I learned that early in business, that charity is the reward for doing business good. That I can't give a lot of charity if I don't have a lot to give. After a while, people get tired of my sayings and my words of wisdom. Eat your vegetables. Listen to your parents. So like, yeah, okay, can you help sponsor this trip? After a while, just say no. Like, yeah, we say no to you. So after a while, I had to say there has to be some way to go about. So I said, how can I pull these two together? And I wasn't getting that satisfaction out of building a house. I've built a house before, many houses. And I was so elated once we sold the house, but I couldn't go back with my daughter and say, hey, let's go look at the house. I'm just not going to do a hello. I had to bring my daughter in to see today. Who are you? We done bought this house like a while. Please leave before we call the cops. There was nothing of reward. I kept getting this empty feeling after I would do a deal. And I wanted more out of life. I wanted more out of life than just to make some money here or there. Some meaning, some purpose. Because that's what gets you up in the morning. Is a purpose. You don't get up in the morning for $1. What good is $1? I mean, let's just be real, okay? Let's just be completely honest with you. Really, you get up, you motivate you. Not just paper. I mean, that helps to an extent, and then you gotta take care of some bills, some debt, but after that, you want to have some meaning. Like, what's your reason for being here? What are you doing here? What the heck are you here for? Is it to work at Walmart? To work at Ford Motor Company? Is that your whole purpose? I mean, is that it? Well, the person who owns those companies may want you to feel that way. But that's not necessarily your purpose. Would you agree? I don't know anybody who believes they was born with the sign over top of their bed that says Walmart. Now, I'm just saying Walmart. I have nothing against Walmart. You know, as a matter of fact, you know, the family makes a lot of money. You know, like nothing at all against them. But what I'm stating is that your purpose, your reason for being here is much more than just to satisfy somebody else's dreams. It's much more than just to make a few dollars, but to make a change. And to know that the two don't have to be separated. What do I have to gain out of telling you be naturally good and be wealthy at the same time? That's a lie. That is a bold-faced lie. And when I learned that to be so, that's the reason I want to share this with you. So that's what got me into it. Now some of my pitfalls. Boy, are they. I've had everything you could think of, from people stealing from me, people doing things to injure me or to hurt me in one way or another, lying, you name it. It has happened. I don't think you can think of something that could go wrong that hasn't happened to me. I mean, you name it. I'll share with you right now, which I've been sharing with many people, one of the things I thought was one of the worst things that happened. At one time, I was so excited, and this naturally leads to want to give and share. I felt like when I started learning how to wholesale, I was like, man, I can make this away from wholesaling. I'm going to go and change the world one block at a time. And I went down to Baltimore and started teaching guys in the corner to stop selling drugs and to start investing in real estate. And it was kind of, leery at first. Everybody had records, and they was sitting to me looking like, who are you? And so I told them, look, I don't have the money, but friends got the money, and if you do a deal, you'll get paid from them. And so one of the guys did a deal, and he made some money. He told the other guys that did a deal, made some money. Before you knew it, word traveled around. They were like, hey, this guy right here is really sharing this information. I felt pretty good, like I was doing a great deed. And I was. The market changed. They started making money. So who did they come after? Yours truly. It wasn't pretty. But you know what? I didn't give in. Matter of fact, one time one of the guys was working for me doing some work. And he was doing some work, and let's just say, for example, he was supposed to get paid $5,000 at the end of this particular job. Because I'm employing people, trying to teach people skills to get them off the streets. I'm not saying that there was anything wrong with that. It's great, I still do that, but I'm just sharing with you one example in the process. So the individual decided that the market changed and they wanted more work. So they called me up and told me they didn't finish the job and they wanted to get paid. I said, well, Okay, let me think about this. Well, about how much did you complete? I don't know, maybe half. I said, okay, well, if you did half, I'm thinking that, see, I didn't get mad. Because one thing I learned, you don't get emotional. You don't do that with it. Think logical, especially when you're in a crisis. Because you don't want your judgment impaired. So I said, well, if you did half of the work, now granted, I was upset. I taught this guy. I brought him in. I gave him a job. And he wants to walk off. And he said, well, I said, well, if you did half, I think you should get half of the payment because I got to get somebody else to do the job. If the job was $5,000, it's going to cost me $5,000 to get it done. So he said, no, you won't give me all of it. I said, whoa. Am I? I didn't think so. I said, no, I'm just going to give you half. He said, well, I know where your office is at. I'm going to come into your job right now. And you're going to give me all of it. I said, oh, well, thanks for the heads up. I said, now you get nothing. He said, what you mean? I said, you get nothing now. You come down here, you just get a handshake and a little bit of conversation, but you get nothing now. He said, what you talking about? I said, well, if you come down to my job and demand half or demand all of it and I give it to you, what's to stop you from coming and demanding more? We're going to stop this ship from sailing right now. You get nothing. He said, oh, okay, Ken, I made a mistake. I'll take half. I said, oh, no, that's my ship has sailed. The ship of nothing has sailed. That's the ship that's floating now. And you get nothing. He said, oh, no, Kenny, no, just mess with me. I had a little bit of drink. This is true. This I had a little bit of drink, man. It messed with my mind. I said, oh, no, man. That's why you can't do it. I heard that to do that. That's why you got to watch out. Well, you take care. Have a nice day. You ain't going to give me anything? I can't, but now, man, I mean, you change the terms of our agreement. Take care, have a nice day. I'm not going to allow myself to be bullied into any situations. You can be strong and very purposeful in giving without being a pushover. That's my point where I'm kind of what I'm sharing with you. Just so you know, I did give him the half. But I wanted him to understand that was because I decided he'd get the half, not because of him trying to force me or intimidate me to get the half. Because I thought it was a fair thing to do. At the end of the day, you have to answer to a higher purpose, a higher cause, or a code. I don't want to get into that too much. I'm just saying you have to have some kind of guidelines the way you do business. Otherwise, you won't have any standard and you'll do anything. You have to have some code that you follow in this business right here. And for me, teamwork and great ethics is one of them. And also understand that nothing is that serious. So also understand that what I'm doing right now is sharing with you introduction as I build you into the meat and the content, okay? Now, that was just one of my pitfalls that I had. So I'm just sharing with you to say that pretty much you named it. Matter of fact, I got a phone call 2 days ago from a partner that I started living with 4 years ago. And he called me and he said, Kenny, I've seen these emails. I just want to let you know I'm so happy that you stuck with it. The difference between him and I wasn't just that I was smarter than he was. It was just the fact that I just didn't stop. I just had more tenacity. That's the only difference. 4 years ago, it was really, really hard. I mean, really hard. No one was sharing any information with me. And why did I think it was going to make money? Just because it seemed like it made sense. It's one of those things that kind of made sense. And I was noticing the market was changing. I was looking for something that wanted to go in a direction to where you can make money because the market was with you. You know, like if you're a football kicker, you're a field goal kicker, you want to kick with the win or against the win? With the win. It don't matter how good you are, you want to kick with the win, right? So as an investor, I wanted to invest with the win of the market. So I found that to be so through its living. It just made sense like that right there. And it is with the win. So 4 years ago, he called me up. It was a very heartfelt conversation, and to be honest, a little emotional, because we started together 4 years ago. But when we started together 4 years ago, we built the business based around our friendship, fitting the needs of the business, not the needs of the business defining who our friend or who our partner with. That's the difference. See, I'm sharing with you, I didn't have someone who understood business at a higher level to teach me. I had to find this person and find that person, or piece here and piece there. And I just thought that if you have you really great friends, hey, we can do business together. That doesn't necessarily mean so. It could be, but it's not a guarantee. But you have to first understand is what are the requirements of that business? What does it demand? What skill sets? After those are demanded, then you find who fits those qualifications. And that's who you partner with. And that's what I did. And that's one of the reasons why it took me so long to get started. Because I just didn't know. Being able to get large paychecks on a continual basis. Now, it wasn't always easy like that. Believe me, everybody isn't lining up to pay you $3,000 a month. And I learned that. But I learned how to find them and what locations. My first venture didn't work out like that. But I share that with you too. See, that's really important. When you're climbing up the ladder of success, you want to make sure that when you get to the top, you're on top of the right building. In the very beginning, when I was working at this right here, I knew it made sense. And I went through all the steps, but I was on top of the wrong building. That phrase, build it and they will come, doesn't work necessarily. Somebody's going to come, but it may not be who you want to come. Someone's going to come, hey, I don't know about this. This isn't what I was looking for. Well, too bad. You built it here, and so we're here. That's the way it works. See, no one told me these things were here, and I had to learn. I had to learn don't try to be all things to everyone. Find a niche and focus on that. My niche just happened to be elderly care. They say, hey, do you want to get into special needs? Hey, do you want to get into those with dementia? Hey, do you want to get into different levels? Hey, I have a certain focus. But you will, for those of you who have those questions and want to start those businesses, we're going to help you with that. I'm sharing with you my experiences, okay? And what has worked for me. And you can take this information and use it to build on your own. Now, I've gone from having a house. Anyone here has a calculator? And I want you to do this math. Okay? What would you say is the average amount of cash flow you make in a one rental house?
500.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's true. Like you said, where they come? Neighborhood. 500 to a range. Anybody else have a range? 2,000. On a house? That's how much profit you make?
Oh,
yeah. Well, yeah. So what's the profit? What's above the mortgage and what you take home? So if the mortgage is $1,000 and you charge them $1,500, that means you have $500 a month cash flow.
Probably $300 to $500 is your profit margin.
Right, I would agree. I have a leasing company and we lease properties all over Baltimore. And basically $300 to $500 is the range. Okay? So you have one house and you net $300 to $500 from this one house. Okay. Now, what do you need to make that happen for one house?
Renter.
A renter. And if that renter moves out, how much cash flow do you have?
0.
Oh, that was quick. Exactly. Yeah, you got expenses. You got negative.
You've got to get ready for the next tenant.
Exactly. So you have that. Okay, what else do you need for that house? Insurance. You got a mortgage. You got a house, a physical house, everything right there. Okay. Maintenance and so forth. Okay. So we said $300 to $500. How much do you think you need to allow yourself to live comfortable enough to do what you want to do?
Me? $10,000 a month.
$10,000 a month? Anybody else? I mean, I'm not here to judge. It's your comfort, not mine. I mean, you know, I'm not married to anybody here, so it's not gonna be like, oh no, please go down lower. So, what do you think you will feel you would need to have a certain comfort per month in cash flow to do what you want to do? To give more charity, to spend more time with your family, to have a legacy. How much do you think you need cash flow per month? There's no wrong answer. I'm sorry? $50,000 a month? Anybody else?
6 figures.
6 figures? Okay. So, now I think it went up. Maybe it's the wrong class. I got the wrong people in here. So, I want to go down to the lottery. They got a whole the lottery down there. This was a real estate. No. Okay, so, now, this is a mathematical equation. Let's just take a $10,000 number, okay? How many houses
20.
do you...
No, if you want 500 net 500 a month, it's like 20 houses you can have.
Oh. Yeah. Professor Xavier. Cool. Thank you. You're right. And I can see what you're going to. How good are you? It's nice pick 3. But no, he's absolutely correct. He's absolutely correct. 20 houses. Now, how long do you think it would take you to acquire 20 houses?
Couple years.
It depends on the
No,
area.
That's true.
cash.
That's true. Anybody know of anyone who's acquired 20 houses?
I met somebody that had 200 houses paid off. Yeah, but I had no idea what type of houses they were, where they were at, and all that.
Okay.
That's
We have about 20 houses, but people call him about 20 times a day.
Yeah. So 20 houses. Let's find it. Well, this right here is a part. As I mentioned, this boot camp is about you. So I want to get some information that's become more real to you, right? So we're talking about $10,000 a month. The average cash flow is $300 to $500 per month. So we said we need 20 houses if you can get every house to net 500, and no one ever left. It was all perfect tenants that paid on time. 20 houses. That's great. That happens right there. You just got to step back and kiss yourself. You did something right. So 20 houses. So we say, well, how long do we think it would take to acquire 20 houses?
3 years.
2 to 4 years.
I'm sorry?
2 to 4 years.
2 to 4 years, 3 years. Anybody tried that? I'm sorry?
Oh, I said it depends on how you acquire those houses.
Exactly. You could acquire them in some way where you get them all in one package, or you could spend time. I've known some that's taken them 2 to 3 years, some that never got that far. So we understand there's a large variance here, right? Now, that's cash from one house. I've been able to not only do for myself, but help others in assisted living homes that are very similar to the homes that are next to the ones that bring home $500 a month, bring home anywhere from $15,000 to $18,000 per month. Cash flow. I'm not talking about gross. I'm talking about cash flow. I did that in December. I was pretty proud of myself in December when I netted $18,000 net. And it was hard because December is a 3 pay period month. See, when you have employees, you think about all these things, man. You got those 3 pay period months. Like, oh, not another pay period in 1 month. It's a little bit different, but I was able to net $18,000. Now, for me, that was wealth. The reason being because it didn't just stop, and it didn't require me to work as hard as it did when I was doing a fix and flip, especially in the month of December. Trying to sell a house in December, in November, in January is hard. Getting people to show up to do work on their property when it's snow outside is hard. Getting inspectors and BG&E and everybody to come and do what they're supposed to do is hard. But I was able to do that right there. And that's what I'm sharing with you. It's how my experiences are. Now, I'm saying it wasn't that way. It didn't happen that way in the beginning. But I built up to that way. And we're going to share with you how to go about doing it. Okay? Yeah, just more. I mean, you can do anything from $1,500 per person in the bid to $5,000. You determine, and we'll go into that also. Okay? Okay, good. So what I want to do right now is pause, and one of my clients like paying in cash. One thing I tell you right now, when an older person, don't try all this new technology. When they say how they're going to pay you, you take the way they're going to pay you. Don't tell them about PayPal and eBay and ACH checking. They're like, what? Look, you going to take this cash right now. Or you're going to take it. At the end of the day, the business is done differently, okay? So great. So
one thing Kenneth mentioned in his last part of the first part of his presentation was talking about what makes you get up in the morning. And for each and every one of us, it's referring to our why. Why do we do the things we do in order to get to where we want to be? And each of us have our own why. The key point I want you to take away from the first presentation is developing a comprehensive team of experts. Write that down. Develop a team of experts that are as equal or superior to the knowledge base of the actual service you want to provide. That's the number one key to your success. Coming full circle, one of the members of Kenneth's team, and I could not believe this resume when Kenneth handed it to me this morning. Miss Saka, in the back of the room. I gotta put my glasses on to read this one. Anne is a healthcare professional, administration and clinical and services. She has a BA, a BSN, a MS, a CMDN, RN, and LNC, and an alphabet and a tree. But I'm just saying, I mean, it's about building a team of experts. This young lady has over 25 years of experience in this field. Case management, staff training supervisor, medical care, medical billing systems, continuing quality improvement, regulatory compliance, program initiation and implementation. She has done it all. So when you say, well, where is the footprints? Where do I find the steps to success? They're a part of this team. Because we've all agreed that in order for you to be successful, you have to walk in the footsteps of success. This room, you have a team of successful people to walk in their footsteps that will be provided to you by Kenneth's program. Everybody, let's give Anne Saka a big round of applause.
I lost track of time. Is it good morning or good afternoon? So good morning. Good morning, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today and to talk to you about assisted living. Excuse my voice. I talk for a living, and this happens to be my 80-hour week, so I've been talking all week. So excuse my voice when I talk. However, I'm here today because I love to talk to people about assisted living. It's my passion. I've been doing this for a while. I teach it, I delegate, and I serve in different capacities. But before that, who am I? I am a registered nurse by profession. And I put that hat on before anything else because of my passion for caring. Starting out, I was going to be an attorney when I went to school, but did not have high enough grades to get into law school. And the reason for that was, at the time I was much younger, and I was in England, did my advanced levels in Oxford, England, and I had applied to all the top schools. I mean, I had applied to like the Cambridge and Leeds and Oxford, which would be like the Harvard and the Princeton. And, well, I didn't have high enough grades to get in there, so I didn't get in. Now I had one of two choices, and my dad said, you want to retake the exams, better your grades and get in, or you're going to do something else. Well, when you're young, you don't want to retake it. You want to go to college. That's all you wanted. So I opted to do international relations, and that's why I have my first bachelor's in international relations. Loved that very much. But my dad, thanks to his memory, said to me, he said, you are a lady. So this job might be wonderful, but you are a lady, and you're a woman, you're going to have a family. And international relations will take you all over the world. So what are you going to do? You still have a responsibility at home. So that kind of like, yeah, I know, but I just want to do it. So I did. Yeah, so I did it, graduated, and then started thinking about it. So went in to do my master's in management and information systems so that I would be in. Finished that, never really worked with that, and then got married. So when I had children, okay, and I had 3 children back to back, 1 to 3, and you have to pay for daycare in order to go to work. And I had to, kind of weigh, what do I do? At the time we're living in Virginia, if I had to go to work, I had to pay for daycare for all these children. And again, I'll be away from them. So it was like, I'm not getting anything out of this. So I thought about, what am I going to do that I love to do that would give me the flexibility to do what I need to do as a mom and still be very functional and useful to humanity, because that has always been very important to me. And nursing came to me. Nursing, I was never a science student. Okay, so now what do I do? Okay, I have to start from scratch because I have to do like biology 100. Because again, like I said, I was never a science student. So I applied to schools, went in and did my prerequisites, got through that, did the 100s and did the very basic chemistry and everything I used to run away from I had to do. So did all that, thankful to God, got accepted into Hopkins and did my nursing at Hopkins, graduated. Loved it. I've been in different areas of nursing. I have worked in acute care, worked long-term care, did a lot of community health and administration. And as part of the community health, I branched into assisted living. Was one time the regional supervisor for all special ed schools in Baltimore City. I've been a school nurse. I'm a legal nurse consultant. I've worn many hats. What else have I done? Used to work for adult evaluations and review services, where we evaluated residents for assisted living placement, nursing home placement, and different placements that we found necessary. So I am currently state approved to teach assisted living, and I do that at Zion Health. What's the next? Who I am? What do I do? I am the director and owner for Zion Health, which is an educational concern approved by the state of Maryland to teach assisted living programs. Currently, this is my week to train. We go for 2 weeks at a stretch, and that's why I say, pardon my voice, I've been talking all week, and we'll be talking all next week. Next. Okay, next. Look at that. Go ahead, flip. Okay, my training and background has exposed me to working with people of very diverse population. My very first job was with Shell Petroleum, which is an international company, and I worked with my management degree in that capacity. So I'm very familiar with working with different people. I'm a national safe serve instructor, and I'm qualified to train here in the United States and Canada and England for people who own restaurants and want to train managers for their concerns. Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, that's OHCQ. That's who your boss is going to be should you decide to go into assisted living. You will own your business, but your boss that you answer to will be OHCQ. Okay, Maryland Department of Education approved trainer for child care medications. Okay, let's go down. These are, okay, these are some of the things that we do. Look. Okay, that was a rundown of my little part of my resume. What do you do? Good. Okay. Now, what I do at Zion, we do train for the 80-hour assisted living managers class. That is the requirement that the state wants people to have if they want to go into assisted living, to open up a facility with 5 or more beds. If you want to own a facility with 5 or more beds, you are required by the state of Maryland to complete the 80-hour curriculum. And it doesn't matter what background the person has. They've made professors to doctors to lawyers to the worker at McDonald's taking. Okay, so 5 beds and above, you are required to do that. 20-hour continuing ed, that's the required research for people who have completed the 80-hour curriculum. Every 2 years, you are required to have 20 hours of continuing education. DDA training, I think I will leave that for tomorrow because that's totally different from assisted living. Sometimes people think DDA is the same as assisted living, but they're two different things. And DDA, for those of you who don't know, stands for Developmental Disability Administration. And this is for the special ed children. It is a non-profit concern, whereas assisted living is for profit.